Cancer. Hello, Cancer. This is Christelle Martinette, and I'm here with you for a reading for the month of October. And so, at the beginning, I will welcome you by this. Okay, so what are we doing here? I have a bloodstone here. Bloodstone, there's a streak of red here, a bloodstone. Cancer. Cancer, there has been a recent change in your life, a serious change, a change of life, as they say, um, typical of a very big change. An example could be a change of sex. That's a life choice. Or a closing of one job and opening another. Changing life, leaving your partner, getting married. A big change of life has recently occurred, and it was your decision. Okay, so there is this element, Cancer, of not control. I don't want to say control, but you sort of pulled the strings. You pulled the strings, and it was your decision. Now, what's interesting here is that you have a few regrets. Not not terrible regrets, but they are regrets. And what happens with regrets is that they make us sad, they make us think, well, what happened? Why did I, should I, could I have? So there's a lot of would've, should've, could've. There's a lot of shoulding, I call it. A lot of shoulding. You shouldn't be shoulding, all right? And that is sort of conditioning your days, your conditioning the moods. More than anything, it's conditioning the moods. And we know that moods can really swing very far forward. And sometimes the moods, when we don't pay attention to them, they come out in the form of dreams or nightmares, and they are very telling. In this case, Cancer, I see you taking timid steps. Let me try this, let me try that, let me try that. And you're trying different things that you've not done before, but you're spending a lot of time with. For example, if you've recently quit a job and are waiting to get another job, or recently decided to retire, or recently decided to put away some money and you just want to take some time off, and you start gardening. You go into your garden, you start planting, you start moving things, cleaning, and you do this relentlessly. But then all of a sudden one day it starts to rain and you can't garden. And then again, these are examples, but they're very telling of the type of energy that is occurring for you, Cancer, in the month of October. So then, you're thinking, well, I'm sick of watching television. So there's this life change, and you're focusing on where you want to put your energy, where you want to gift your energy. It's as if, I know you're it's no depression. There is a little sadness. Yes, there is a little sadness, but it's not depression, because you still are you have the upper hand. You're starting to get used to these new shoes, and they're not as comfortable as the old pair. And, so we have to walk very carefully, Cancer. And carefully you are walking. What I don't like in what I'm seeing, Cancer, is that you tend to be caught up in reverie. Reverie is always something that makes us look back, turns our head to the way they were, the way we were, the way things were. Now that's never going to be possible. And so there is this tinge of sadness that is sort of characterizing your days. And so that's one thing. But another thing is that you still have the energy of going forward, which is remarkable. Going forward and trying new things, going forward and attempting to do something more, something new, something different. Because, and this is very odd, because you really want to tell people about it. You want to have something to say, because you are almost, you're afraid that um that you're going to be boring, and you're afraid that you have nothing else to talk about. And so, you start thinking fear is a four letter word. Fuck fear. They're both four-letter words. And so you're climbing, as if you're climbing out of this. And you start, one day you go out, have breakfast somewhere, have something different, take up the newspaper, chit chat, or you start looking for a different position. So it's you. I'm not talking about anyone else. I am talking about other people, your family, friends, that constantly say, well, how is it? How's this great change? And the more they ask, the worse it is for you. But it's interesting because you really are starting to get the measure of what it means to change. And you were never one to embrace changes. You sort of liked those old shoes, and this is with no offense I'm saying that, but you prefer, it's the difference between buying a new house and renovating an old house. You prefer renovations. You prefer the renovations because you want to give value to things, no matter how old they are, how new they are, how worn they are. Everything has a value for you. And so you're discovering, Cancer, your sense of value, your sense of values, and the way you value things, and you're remembering them, and you're going back in time, like I said, this reverie. And it's almost as if you know there is a cost that you had to pay. There was a price you had to pay for this change. And you're thinking, well, was it truly worth it? And so you're still weighing, because it's very recent. It's still weighing the pros and the cons, and the pros and the cons, and the pros and the cons. And the cons seem to win out here, Cancer. I'm going to put the bloodstone down and pull one of these Star Child Oracle cards, Lemurian Star Child Oracle cards, that, like I always tell everybody, they're like bricks. They're so thick like bricks. Wasn't that a name of a song? I can't remember. Thick like a brick, something like a brick. Tull? Jethro Tull? I mean, am I remembering that right? Something like a brick? And I'm going to show it to you and read it to you. This is a card that, look at the way it is. It's called Storm. Storm. And it is, what it says is, it's okay. It's okay to feel it all, cleanse, collapse of the old, and realignment. Okay, so this is very much in line with what we were seeing before, this change all of a sudden. And the key word here is the cleanse, because you can cleanse. When you think of a cleanse, people think of a body cleanse, and different ways of cleansing your body, outwardly and inwardly. Here, this is a psychic cleanse. This is a spiritual cleanse. This is a soul cleansing. Collapse of the old, because the old has taken its come of age. It's over. It is over. And realignment. And so what this month is really for you is a month of realignment. And I have to say that I enjoy the picture that I'm seeing of you, Cancer, where you're sort of measuring, taking a tape measure, and you're measuring, is this too big for me? No, this is not good for me. This is just too tall for me. And what about, and so you're thinking of what you like. Like I said, there's a reevaluation of your basic values and your thoughts. Now, added to this, I'm going to take a few runes, and let's take a look at what we see here. This is need. Need. I think you can see that there. There, need. Every time this rune comes out and it's bright stave, there's only really one way you can see it's only bright stave, only straight up. This is usually, how can I put it? It is a rune of delays. And every time I see this, I go, oh, mamma mia, again, I have to wait. I'm not the most patient woman in the world. And what's interesting about need is that it's not something that is delayed by you, but of outward constraints, as if you're waiting for something and it hasn't come in. This change that you are involved in is a change, is a change that hasn't 100% taken place. You're owed money. You have to get your belongings out of a property because you have to move or something, but it's still not 100% finished. Now let's take another rune and see what it tells us. Urus. Urus is Merkstave. It's upside down. And Urus is usually a rune of vital force and energy. And so there are days when, and because it is upside down, there are days when you are more tired, you drain yourself. It's not being tired because you're lacking energy. It's the anxiety that you give rein to. You're letting the anxiety take over. Some days, not all days, some days. There is, though, what I do see here is determination. You could look at that. It looks like a bull's horns, and the runes are telling you, look, Cancer, it's time to take the bull by its horns, literally, and get to it. Find that diamond. Find your diamond. What they always say, a diamond is forever. Find the diamond, the perfect light. This is why I'm talking about a diamond. It's an analogy. Find that diamond that speaks to you, that reflects to you, that has your reflection in it. Now, another thing that is interesting for me to see here is that there's this will, despite anything that has that has occurred in the past, despite anything that you have felt in the past, sadness because of a loved one who has left or anything like that. This huge life change, differently even from any separations that you may have experienced, is something that you are starting to see in as a challenge. And it's sort of like the glass is half full and not half empty. And that's what that's what I call no depression. I can count on you after this video are not going to cut off your ear. So now I'm going to take 3 different tarots and the tarot cards from the Tarot of the Celtic Fairies. The Tarot of the Celtic Fairies. Tarot of the Celtic Fairies. And I'll do this from the top. 1. This is just what we needed. Just what we needed. You are one lucky person. Very, very lucky. All right, let's see if we can show you. Look at that. You can even see the water through the card. This is the Magician. This is the Magician. I'll show you the cards first. The Magician, the Page of Coins. Beautiful cards. Beautiful cards. And the Temperance card. The Temperance card. Now, the way they have come out is like this. The Magician, the Page, and the Temperance card. It's telling you, they are telling you that, Cancer, you have the ability to imagine, dream, and attract whatever you want in time. This is a message for you for the month of I'm messing up here. This is a message for you for the month of October. But it's telling you, you start the work in October. The attraction and the power of the Magician, the power to will something to occur, happens further down the line. Not in November and not in December. I'm looking at something like January. So there are 2 months here, November and December, that you're still going to start taking measurements. And the Page of Coins tells you that it's time for you as well to start listening to messages that the universe is sending to you, that your guides are sending to you. A lot of people out there who are listening don't have that experience, but a lot of you people out there do hear messages and do sense messages and do see things. Here, I'm talking, Cancer, about having that gut feeling of, yes, I'm on the right track. Yes, this is what I should be doing. Should I try this or that? Well, this is not going to work as much, but that will. And it may seem very mundane. The question that you're asking may seem mundane. Should I work in the garden, or should I go out for breakfast, or some garbage like that? Just excuse me, let me use that word, garbage. But there is a qualitative jump spiritually to be made, Cancer, and the Page of Coins is telling you that. It's a page that tells you, it's sort of harking out. It's announcing something that will be coming your way, and it's going to occur. I said the end of the year and into the beginning of the new year, as the season brings close a holiday, whatever ethnic extraction you are from. When there are holidays involved, that smack of the family, or that concern bringing the family together. And in my world, it's Christmas or New Year's, and others it could be Hanukkah. It could be other things. But when the family is involved, that's when you completely become, you come into your own. And that's when you start to give thanks. And here it is a matter of giving thanks. Why am I saying this? Because you are suffering. You suffer in the month of October because of not giving gratitude, rather than giving gratitude for where you are, what you've done, and where you have come. You start thinking, I shouldn't have done that. And you're almost sort of blaming yourself. And so the energy needs to be switched around. Turn the beat around, they said, that song said. I'm going to take another rune and see what this says. Okay, this is Pedro. Beautiful. All right, this is magic. All right, look, let me see if I could go like that. All right, there you go. Pedro is a magical rune. Pedro is the mystical rune. And Pedro really talks about hidden secrets that are hidden that you don't see, you don't hear. What other thing is that's important here with Pedro? It echoes what I just said: the occult, your intuition, spirituality. This is a strong rune to keep near, that rune of the Magician. They work together and they announce your power. Even if the Temperance card was there, even if the Temperance card tells you, my mother would have said, "Bochibaro," slowly to the horse, she would say, slow down, hold your horses. Even though it is, and it's announcing a slower process, it is because you need to become aware of the forces that are soliciting you to look elsewhere rather than to the mundane. I'm going to take the Vera Sibilla cards, and that I so love. I just love them because they add brio, they add spice to the readings, and I like the way they speak to me. I always tell people this is the first deck of cards that I ever read, and I always keep them with me wherever I go. And they like that, you know, and they pay me back thousandfold because they like to give me what I need to know. Okay, let's take 3 here. Oh la 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 la! We have a very clear message here. We've got. It's called dispiacere, sadness. Sadness. We have here ladro, which is a thief. And vecchia signora, who is the old lady. She speaks to positive change, actually. These two are first representing your state of mind during the month of October. Then the change, the negative change related to this state of mind. They are 2 negatives. And the announcement of positive change. As I said, it comes after the month of October and further down the line. One last call, one last rune. Beautiful. Rido. Rido is a journeying rune. It means, what is a journey? A journey is a trip. A journey is a place where a road that you see that you go down. It could be metaphorical, but I'm seeing this literally, both as metaphorical and as pragmatic. There is a vacation involved that will involve the family, not in October, but the planning stage will occur in October. And that is where you start to see, and you start to almost look up to the sky and say, thank you, thank you, thank you, because all these little ideas that come to you from other people and the nudging, elbow nudging and the telephone calls. Okay, are you coming on Saturday? Are you doing this? Those are all little signs, yes, from the universe, but they are people in your lives. But they are signs to you to remember that you are first not alone in all of the garbage and bullshit that we have to go through in this life, you know? It's not just about, I mean, some days it's just so difficult even to get up and brush your teeth. I mean, just get up out of bed is just a chore. And then other days, boom, you have such, your step is so light, And it all has to do with the nature of your feeling, the way you feel, and what is it. And here you're going to be asked, Cancer, you're going to be asked to take a look, not inside yourself. I'm not saying it's time to look within, for God's sakes. No, it's time to evaluate what things, what feelings, what symbols make you have a certain mood, and what others make you have another mood, a lighter mood, a happier mood. And then you need to put 2 + 2 + 2 together and find your picture. Remember, we talked about life changes and how you would start seeing it as a challenge rather than a chore, and then you would start realigning to your new situation, to your new life change. And the key word here is gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude. Give thanks, ladies and gentlemen, Cancer friends. Give thanks. Give thanks. Like, share, and subscribe my video. I hope this was of help to you. Push that notification button and you'll be told when I go online and when my videos are up. Namaste and have a wonderful October. Be back soon, Cancer.